Are the Clippers unraveling?
I think so. I think just a little bit, and I'm not going to sit up there and dismiss that. The fact of the matter is you got a guy like Paul George who's missed about 22 or 23 games this year. Kawhi Leonard has missed about 12, 13 games this year. But when I look at them, particularly in this loss to Sacramento, I don't know whether we have that footage or not. If we do play it, if not, so be it. But there is a fast break where Kawhi Leonard throws the ball, and he's trying to throw. Here it is right here. And look at him. He's throwing this pass to Landry Sherman, looking for him to go to the basket. He doesn't. Now look at how Kawhi Leonard is acting right there. When have you seen him like this? Max calls him a cyborg. He's emotionless. He doesn't react. Now look at him right there. It looked like LeBron right there for crying out loud in terms of his reaction. As we are looking at the Clippers right now, they rank about 14th in the league defensively. They've got two guys averaging over 20, another two guys averaging close to 20, and Harold, who's averaging over 18, and obviously Lou Williams, who's averaging over 19. They acquired Marcus Morris. They've got Reggie Jackson. So, of course, when you look at their roster, they have an elite roster. When you look at the coach, you know you have an elite coach. You know you have an elite superstar in Kawhi Leonard. There is no question about that. And Paul George wasn't there, so we can't overreact too much. But what I'm saying is that for me, I'm going to overreact anyway. And the reason I'm going to overreact is because whether it's load management or guys just missing games or what have you, you're not accustomed to playing together.
Yep.
And the kind of mistakes that we're seeing are the kind of mistakes you witness when you're not on the court enough together. And that is what is going on right now. And when I see that reaction, Max, from a Kawhi Leonard, the only reason I bring it up is because he's primarily known for being completely emotionless.
Max.
It's not something he does.
Load management is doing.
But he did it there.
Can you defend this, Max?
The easy thing to do from lesser lights is to look at Kawhi Leonard and say, oh, see, he's never really had the responsibility of being the man in a new place where he's supposed to deliver a championship from the beginning of the year. Those are the favorites. Now what it's like to wear the crown, Kawhi. Right now you see what LeBron's dealing with, and you're starting to see cracks. Get out of here with that. Let me tell you what's going on. This isn't that hard. They're down Paul George. This is a deep team, but it's also top-heavy. They have two guys better than everyone else on the team. Paul George is not playing. By the way, the defense will also suffer without Paul George. The reason he's great is he's a two-way player. That's number one. And number two, yes, they have some new pieces to integrate, and that will happen over time. They have just enough runway before the playoffs. But the main thing is this. They're a half-court team, or rather like an ISO-heavy team. They're an ISO-heavy team. So guess what? In the regular season, sometimes you might get exposed doing that a little bit. Guess what happens in the playoffs to ISO-heavy teams who can play defense and have two superstars? They win. This is a team that is built for the playoffs. This regular season stuff, they're just trying to get their ducks in a row. They will be fine. I just want everyone to remember, keep that same energy. Here's their little rough spot. I got the same energy. Clippers going to win the chip. I've been saying that since they got Kawhi. Okay. I'm going to say it then. Everyone remember what you're saying today because they're going to win the chip.
Well, break it down for us.
I just get worried about, how many times do we need to say when they're going to be healthy? Like, when they're going to be healthy, we said that in October. November, when they're going to be healthy. December, when they're going to be healthy. January, we're in February. We're almost in March. I wonder when they are going to be healthy. And I hear you, but let's actually talk about it. So, Reggie Jackson, have you watched him play in Detroit, Max? He's a volume shooter. My man does not look to pass the ball. Lou Will can score with the best of them. I hear you. Marcus Morris, tough guy, but kind of a scorer. Who on their team really makes you better? And I will say this, when watching Kawhi when he played in Toronto, the basketball IQ, Stephen A., the players that played in Toronto were drastically different. Fred VanVleet, those guys, they knew where to go, when to go. This team, if you're not playing all together, I think, they can score with the best of them. I don't know if their basketball IQ is at the top of the league. I think not having the continuity playing together combined with their lesser IQ could be problematic for this team if they haven't found their stride. It's a realistic
Reggie
worry
Jackson,
about this
I know, I hear what you're saying about Reggie Jackson. There's a reason he's not a star, but you can use him as a pick-and-roll point guard. He is capable of doing that. he'll do that, I think, for this team. I'm confident about that. To me, if you want to look at an issue with the Clippers, here's a legitimate issue. One of the ways they got by the Bucks last year was not just Kawhi's defense picking him up, as Stephen A. said, and not letting him get ahead of steam going downhill, but you're funneling him to good defensive bigs. Zubac is nice. Like, they have some guys, but they don't have any real rim defender kind of defensive bigs to funnel someone like Antetokounmpo to. That's a legitimate concern. I hear what you're saying about Reggie Jackson. I think in a second unit, he can run a pick and roll for you. I like the pieces they got. I think there's enough runway to integrate them. Injury is real. If they're down Paul George,
that's a huge question.
They're not going to. Like, it's going to be very, very, very tough.
3 hamstring injuries.
But the point is, you can't sit and make up your mind. Because if you're going to sit up there and say if injuries matter, I'm talking to you, Max. I know exactly who I'm talking to. When you're talking about if the injury, of course, if they're injured and they're not playing, I'm saying what if the injuries are now, but you're available in the playoffs, but you haven't been playing because of those injuries?
Fine. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.